What's happening? What's happening? I hope you guys are doing well. I decided that since it's Saturday night, I would just come in real quick and see how everybody is. And so I hope you're doing good. So this is what I do sometimes on Saturday nights. I do literally like an ask me anything. So if you put a question in the comment or in the chat that's like one sentence, I will answer the one sentence question. So the first question I have is, are we live? The answer is yes. Hey Doc, what's going on, Dr. Q? How are you? Blessings be upon to you, be up on you. Blessings to you too. Hey Miriam, how are you? I love these sessions. I love them too. They're a lot of fun. Pays. I don't know what pays. I don't know what you mean by that. Nathaniel, what's going on, man? How you doing? Good to see you, Nathaniel. Why do black people defend Rogan? I think it's because I think in this particular instance, they, with those Rogan doctors, they were calling them quacks. One of them got his medical degree from Northwestern. The other one was the chief, something like he was like the second in command at Baylor Medical Center. So these were not just quacks off the street. And I'm not really defending Rogan. I'm really defending truth because I saw what was going on with Rogan using the N word and all that. And I get that. I understand how people feel. I know the words still hurt your feelings. I'm gonna tell you, I ain't never been offended when a white man says anything to me because I don't think white people's opinions are that important. I just don't. And the thing is, you got to remember is that when you act all sissified and sad when they call you a name, well, remember you got the guy in New York, the mayor of New York, who got caught calling white people crackers, and now they're saying, well, racial slurs are always bad. I'm not a fan of censorship. I'm just not. And I'm just telling you the honest to God truth. I don't really care what white people think about me. There's a difference between somebody saying something bad about you to try to hurt your feelings versus somebody really pulling a gun out on you and blowing your brains out or whatever. Like, I don't, it just doesn't bother me. I'm a man. You can say what you want about me. That ain't gonna matter to me, to be honest with you. What do you think about XRP, Desmond? I hope that XRP gets out from under its it's cloud. I hate that. I own XRP. I'd like to be able to sell it. Do you think black billionaires can pull their money to create something of our own? They could have did that a long time ago. You don't even need billionaires to do it. They could have started their own sports league. I mean, these guys are just, it's just, I mean, a boss has a certain mindset. Like, a boss can own something even if he has no money at all, or she, right? A boss mind, but a person who's not thinking like a boss, you could give them $1 billion and they still aren't going to ever lead, because leadership is a choice. It's something you choose to do. So those who choose to lead don't need, you don't really need a bunch of money to lead. You don't need a validation. You just do it. I've never been offended by the N word, says Nathaniel. Yeah, me either. It's a way they gain power over you. They gain power over you. If they can't control you, they'll say, well, I'll just call them the N word. And then next thing you know, you done got fired from your job, done got locked up, got sent to jail. Oh, I'm gonna fight you because you called me a name. You called me a name. Well, some toothless redneck who has no power over you can just call you a name and activate you into nigga mode and get you to start doing all kinds of things that are going to ruin your life. And you, at that point, you've given him the power. But only certain people are going to understand that. If you want to just proceed to ruin your life and get sent to jail because some raggedy white person called you a name, then, by all means, don't let me stop you. What do you think about the LLR, aka Triller stock coming? I don't know anything about that, Nicole. If you want me to look up a stock or something, there's thousands of them, so I don't know them all. But if you want me to look up a stock, that's what the stock market investing class is for. And actually, until midnight tonight, only until midnight tonight, you can actually get in the class for 48% off. It's really, really good. There's a 100% money back guarantee. Just go to boycewatkins.com. You can sign up, but you got to get in there now because at midnight it shuts off. Like, at midnight, there's no more. This is your last chance. So, so maybe we won't do another sale for another 7 or 8 months. So that's when we'll have another enrollment, or you can pay the full price. It's totally up to you. But if you leave the question in there, like those of you who did join the class, if you have a stock you want me to know about, put it in there. Put it in the question thing. I'll answer the question on Tuesday during class at 11. If you want to ask me about your cousin's liquor store that they asked me to invest in and get my 2 cents on it, feel free to put that in there. You can leave me questions and I'll research it, think about it, talk to people, and get you an answer. Let's see here. Any questions about particular stocks, I probably won't have much of an answer for you, but I will answer any question about any topic. Just make it one sentence. What do you think about California considering reparations? I think it's good. I mean, there are some good things about progressive states like California. I wouldn't want to live there because I think they overdid it on the pandemic, but reparations is an area we happen to agree on. And so I think that that's a good start. I don't think white people are fully prepared to give you the reparations you deserve, though, because they're too still stuck on this idea that they don't owe you anything. So what they're probably going to do is write you like a $10 check and hope that you can forgive 400 years of pain and suffering for $10. And some Negroes will. I won't. I'll never forgive. I'll never forgive what you did to my grandfather. My great grandfather got murdered. This is one example. I've had people in my family lose one. I had one descendant on my father's side where they controlled an entire town and they had wealth and businesses, and the white people killed them and took everything. I had a great grandfather who a white man disrespected his wife or something, and he got into a fight with the white guy, so they lynched him and killed him. So there's no compensation you can give me that'll make up for that. So that's just my 2 cents. I won't ever forgive. So, and I'm not going to vote for anything. I'm not a sucker. So you got to go find somebody else. We just left San Diego for Texas. Yeah. See, Cali overdid it, Nicole. I agree with you. A lot of people left California and New York because they were like, this is stupid. Now New York has become kind of a ghost town. California they look crazy to the rest of the world. I guess they just gonna sit over and be crazy. Speak on AMC when big dogs are buying, holding, and speaking on it. Ask me about that for class. If you go to boycewatkins.com, sign up for the class, put AMC in there. You can ask me, and I'll look it up and give you a response on Tuesday during class. So you don't care about them calling you the N-word, but care about slavery. That's hypocritical. I don't. Do you say he said hypothetical? I think you mean hypocritical. It's okay. It's all right. Sometimes we get our words wrong, but actually, I think slavery was real. Having my relatives and loved ones, beaten and all this other stuff, like that's real. Somebody call it some redneck from Tennessee calling me a name. That doesn't affect me. Like I'm probably his boss anyway. Like he's probably just jealous because I'm doing better than him. What do you think about Charleston White's interview on Revolt TV? I did not see it, Casey. I'm sorry. I have to go check it out. Let's see here. Am I a Raiders fan? I do like the Raiders. I mean, just when I'm watching, I think they're good. The quarterback, I think that Carson, what's his face, is the quarterback. That one guy, they had the wide receiver that was hooked on drugs. I always root for him because he's really talented, but I'm not really into the Raiders. I don't really think about him a lot. Can I read your university dissertation? Yes, you can. All dissertations from major universities should be publicly available in a database. So if you look up Dr. Boyce Watkins' dissertation, you'll find it somewhere. Can I tell you where to find it? I don't know, but I got my PhD at the Ohio State University. IU is where I met my wife. Derek Carr, thank you very much. Let's see here. Next question. Thoughts on gerrymandering Black neighborhoods? Yeah, that's what Republicans are going to do. I think the Republicans and Democrats are kind of having a back and forth, and the Democrats own Black people. Like those are, we're their slaves. So the Republicans are saying, we're going to hurt you by taking away your slaves. I'm not a slave for the Democrats or the Republicans. So just make sure I'm not into the Democrat Republican stuff. I left that plantation a long time ago. I love what you do. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate your perspective and your openness to agree to disagree. And I absolutely love B1. Good. Be Black first. Very good. And we can agree to disagree. We don't have to have the same opinion at all. At all. In fact, you may be right. I may be wrong. I'm just going to be honest with you about what I feel and what I believe. Having a family meeting with my six adult children. Any suggestion what to say, where to start building generational wealth? Yeah, I think love and acceptance. Before you correct, you must connect. So I think making the family meeting not all business is a good step. Because they talk about work-life balance, but you can really have work-life blend where, in our family meeting, we spend a lot of time talking about things that ain't got nothing to do with business. But when you start really showing love for each other, you got to throw business in with love, because the best way for me to show that I love you is to help you survive economically. And for us to really decide that we have this common goal of making sure that the family does well. And the only way we can get on the same page is if you believe I really care about you. So I think everything should lead with love. And then at that point, you kind of learn together and you talk to each other and you come through for each other, things like that. And I would sort of establish what the family code is. Like, what's the code? Like, how do we operate as family? I think that's a good sort of position to kind of begin the discussion with. Yeah, and do a lot of listening. Don't do all the talking. Do a lot of listening. Everybody needs to learn how to listen more, because some people talk too much, and everybody doesn't just want to hear you talk. Sometimes they want to be heard. Justin, I've been dating a long distance for 3 years. I'm finally moving to our city. We're on the rocks and we're living separate homes. Any advice on how to reconnect? I'm a big believer in therapy, Justin. So if you really love this woman, I would get a relationship therapist, because I can't overstate to you how important it is to get help in your relationships. A lot of people, the reason relationships fall apart is because we all believe we can do it ourselves, and then we do it wrong, and you don't connect. Everything you think you're supposed to do is not what you're really supposed to do, and then you do it wrong, and next thing you know, they ain't talking to you, and you don't know why. if you're going through stuff like that, get help. Get help. I cannot overstate how much it helped me to just learn how to connect to other human beings, how to understand people. And and my therapist taught me that. I'm a big believer in that type of stuff. I got a leadership coach, I got a therapy coach, I got my wife is a therapist. I'm a big believer in that shit. You guys have to seriously remember you're Black too. Most of y'all been through trauma. And when your trauma scale is high, you're all fucked up. You're doing terrible things to people. You don't even know it. You're rejecting things that could be good for you. You're doing self-harm in a significant way. You probably don't even realize it because you're so accustomed to Blackness being associated with dysfunctionality. I'm just here to tell you, let it all go, man. Like, figure out, find a new way. Start by getting a little bit of help. If you can afford a therapist, they got all kinds of therapy stuff out there. If you can't afford it, get on YouTube, watch some videos, like learn how to really talk to human beings and connect with them in a meaningful way instead of doing it the way you've been doing it. Your community is all messed up in so many ways. Like we're good. We're amazing in some ways, but in some ways, mentally, we got some work to do. All right. Anyway, next, what do you think about NFTs being used as a real world application? House just sold with one. Yeah, I think NFTs are definitely going to be a real world thing. I think NFTs are very important, very, very big. We have a crypto club in the Black Business School. If you go to boycewatkins.com, you can see the crypto club there. They meet on a regular basis. They can help you get into DeFi, NFTs, whatever it is you want to get at, metaverse stuff, like all that stuff that's happening in the future. I encourage you to go ahead and start taking a look at that because that's where the money's going to get made. Let's see here. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do you TB? I don't know what it means to TB tax tips. I'm sorry. Do you like the stock pays? Leave that for me as a question for the stock market class. You can find the class. We meet on Tuesdays. Go to boycewatkins.com. You get a 48% discount until midnight tonight. But what if we get a good candidate and can't get him or her in? I don't believe in good candidates. I have given up on politicians. They can all kiss my entire Black ass because a lot of these politicians, even the Black ones, are just garbage. They haven't done anything to help the community. I'm not saying that we don't need them. I mean, I'm not trying to go be extreme about it. But my God, I mean, is that all you got? Is that really all you got? Come on now. Talk about cannabis stocks. Well, basically, I've invested in cannabis. I think it's a long-term investment. Am I currently invested in Bitcoin? Yes, I am. Let's see. Tax tips. Do you think we should spend money with outside groups? If you have to, but you should try to keep your money internal if you can. Let's see. I was taken off work. One day says I was taken off work. They denied my religious exemption. The city of San Francisco has the never to tell me I don't need a sincere religious belief. Yeah, San Francisco is crazy. That's just all that there is. And now they have a crime wave in San Francisco because that's where they had all the protests where they were telling people we don't need police. And now in San Francisco, the mayor, did y'all see that? The Black mayor was cussing. Like, she was cussing about all the people getting robbed and beaten and carjacked and killed. But it's like, well, yeah, you just told all the cops to go to hell. If I'm a cop, I'm not working no more. I mean, I know a lot of good Black cops who ain't Klansmen. They ain't trying to hurt nobody, but they're like, why the hell would I want to go to this job, put my life on the line when people are telling me that I'm evil for just providing for my family? So I just really think that balance was called for, and you let the Democrats use you to spit out a message that was not beneficial to you. Those people, those white people running those damn protests, those people behind Black Lives Matter, the puppet masters, they're all going back to their little safe spot in the suburbs. Your ass got to still sit in the hood. Everybody getting shot up, killed, beaten, and raped now because the police are basically sleeping on the job. I personally think this was all done. They ruined this country just so they can win elections and so they can make money. That's what they do. And a lot of the policies don't make sense. A lot of the things they do are not beneficial to the people. The propaganda is absolutely ridiculous. Again, when you go back to the Joe Rogan thing, what was crazy about the Joe Rogan thing is they would really have you thinking that he had a couple of fake doctors on there talking about, misinformation about the pandemic. Like, you would really think he got some old raggedy ass, uneducated, like got my degree on the weekend type people. These people, one doctor graduated from Northwestern. The other one was one of the medical chiefs at Baylor University Medical Center. These were not quacks. So the fact that they got you thinking that these seasoned licensed professionals are quacks, that propaganda is crazy. And the thing is, with the propaganda, they do that so they can achieve their goals. Their goal is to win elections, get TV ratings, make money for big pharma. It's crazy. So if you don't know how to think for yourself, you're gonna get played over and over. They're gonna play you like a guitar and a piano, and you just gonna get played every time. All right, so let me keep going. What do you think about interracial couples? I think that who you date is a personal choice. I have a goddaughter who married a wonderful guy who happens to be white. I don't have a problem with white people. I want to make this clear. I don't have a problem with white. So if you're white, don't think I hate you. I have no problem with white people. I just don't want white people telling me what to do. I don't want. I just don't battle white people. But I don't dislike white people. I have white neighbors. They're very nice people. Just don't fuck with me. I won't fuck with you. That's all. I can live in peace with white people. So I don't walk around saying, gosh darn, white folks, they just always up in my mix, always messing with me, always causing me problems and hurting my feelings and stuff. No, I don't care. I don't care. Now, I didn't like you though when I had to go to work every day and look in the face of a white man who hated my guts. That was not fun. But now that I work for myself, I'm the boss. If I see a white man, he's usually opening my door. I'm okay with that. Anyway, let me keep going. Let's see. Hey, my name is Corey. How's Carmen doing? Healing day by day. In case you don't know, my daughter Carmen was hit in the New Year's Eve drunk driving accident by a guy named Brandon Becerra. Brandon Becerra was allegedly driving drunk, and he hit my daughter's car. And she was in the passenger side, and she was severely injured. And if Brandon sees this video, just know that I ain't forgot, and we are going to get in that ass. I am chasing this guy down. I have hired lawyers. I have made phone calls, and this is not the end of this. And I'm saying his name publicly, Brandon Becerra, in case you want to Google him, because I believe that he needs to be held accountable for what he did. So there you go. That's what that is. And I was very, very sad, and I want to make sure she's okay. But after I get sad, I get mad, and I don't forget. I can hold a grudge for the next 85 years. So this dude pretty much just ruined his own life because I'm not going to let this go. So anyway, let me keep going. Question: what advice would you give to Dwayne Johnson in running the XFL? Is he going to run the XFL? That would be great. They need other sports leagues. The NFL does not deserve to have a monopoly. They had a good sports league. I was so mad. They started that other football league. Remember that? And it was really good. I got it. I said, you know what? I don't hate the NFL, but I was like, you know what? This is cool. They got football. I think it was in the spring or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch this league. I'm going to get into the teams and follow the players and all that. Then right in the middle of the season, the whole league just shuts down. I couldn't believe it. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Anyway, let me keep going. All right, so let's see. Rogan had the top doctors in the world to speak on the mismanagement of the virus. It's incredible how much propaganda has been coming from the White House. It makes the administration look very guilty in regards to possible genocide through malpractice around the virus. Yeah, those doctors Rogan had, look them up. One of them's last name was Malone, and the other's last name was McCullough. Look up those doctors. Don't believe me. Look up their bios for yourselves, and you will find he didn't bring quacks on that show. And also, Rogan is a threat to CNN and all these other networks because he has about 10 times more viewers per episode than CNN. CNN gets about less than a million per episode. Rogan gets 11 million. It's tough to compete with that. Let's see here. What course of yours should I take if I've never taken a business course? Start with Black Money 101. Go to blackmoney101.com. That's my sort of introduction to the power of money. Or if you want to join the stock market class, there's a discount. There's 48% off discount until midnight tonight. We meet every Tuesday at 11, and there's a ton of curriculum. There's literally years of stuff in there. I also listed 5 stocks just today for the students that I really like. So I give you stock selections that I like. I just want to help you in every way that I can. You can send me questions, all that stuff. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com, take a look. The link's right near the top, and you can get the discount. And your fee will be 48% off now and forever for as long as you're a member. So you can be in there for life, and your price will never go up. Let's see here. That's why Rogan's apology was worded the way that it was. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed that he had that whole N-word tirade. And and I don't like it. No, I mean, do I like when white people use words like that? No, I don't. Do I, and the thing is, I told you, words don't really hurt I don't really care. Like you don't like me, I don't like you either. It's not really about Rogan. I'm not defending Rogan. It's more about defending the truth. And I believe in this. I believe in this pandemic. We were fed, the big virus, the big infection was fear and propaganda. I did not like it. So all that other stuff I don't care about. And I believe that the reason they spilled all that out there is because it's a smear campaign. That's what they do when they want to sort of get at somebody. If you read Fauci's emails, that he was sending out during the pandemic, he was talking about how do you smear people. Like he was literally finding strategic ways to discredit those who did not agree with whatever the government was saying. So I think this is a smear campaign. They don't like black people. They don't really give a shit about you. You really think, I mean, suddenly it's like, oh, we just realized Rogan said all these things. They already knew it. They just keep that stuff in their pocket and then they release it at opportune times. Like they wanted to get rid of that Raiders coach, John, what's his face, Gruden. Remember they were trying to get rid of him and he was kind of fighting back. And then they suddenly released these emails where he said these racist things. Like, I think he said a black guy said something about his lips looking like Michelin tires or something like that. And then it all suddenly comes out. But the NFL, one of the most racist institutions in America, suddenly they care about black people. That's what they do. Like the pandemic, when the pandemic started, they were like, well, who do we get to take this medicine, this jab first? And how do we make money for Big Pharma? Oh, black people. We need black people to get it. So we're going to put black people in every commercial, show you video of a black nurse injecting a black patient with the, like, it's crazy to me. It's like, well, because we care about black people. Well, if you cared about black people, you would have been listening when black people were telling you what they needed. Black people are always saying, look, here are the things we want. And they say, no, these aren't the things you want. These are the things we want you to have. And so that sort of patronizing or paternalistic behavior, it's stupid. It's for suckers. I was watching Peacock, and my wife, they had this really awesome Black History commercial where they had some black person that reciting a poem like, we are proud, we are this, we are great, we are extraordinary. And it feels good on the surface. It was a great spoken word thing. But like you really thought somebody's gonna break out, sing, and lift every voice and sing, right? And literally, I told my wife, I said, isn't it funny that every single movie that we're looking at on screen was produced by a white company using black actors? Like literally, white people own the whole platform. They own Peacock. They own the studio that made the movie. They're the shareholders that own the capital behind the film, and they're putting black people up here and making it seem like you have risen. Like, well, still we rise. Look at how far we've come. And that's why you think you're rising, but you're not. That's why black wealth keeps going down. They keep telling you how much you've risen, but where the fuck are you rising? Where are you rising? Your kids are not being better educated. Your wealth is not going up. Your families aren't together. You ain't rising. You're getting they got you mentally living. It's almost like they got you in the metaverse. Like you're like, I'm rising in the metaverse, not in the real world, not in the real universe. You rising. I was playing a video game and I rose to the very top. They got you literally everything that they preach to you about how far you've come is nothing but a big illusion. It's nothing but a big lie. They're like, okay, if we massage these people's butts and tell them and give them the self-esteem that they never had, then they're going to go ahead. They're going to keep on feeding us financially, and we're going to keep using and exploiting these people. You're really colonized. That's what you are. You're colonized. You know, they use your athletes to run these big sports leagues where they're making billions of dollars, and you make a little bit of money, but they make the most of it. You've got the prison industrial complex that's still going and moving, right? They get you all caught up in when one black guy gets shot by the cops. Nothing comes of it. Nothing. The civil rights superstars never change any laws. They never get any, like I told you guys, if they really want to address criminal justice system, what they would do is they would hire 10,000 lawyers, mostly black right now, to review every single case of every single black man and black woman that has been incarcerated in the last 30 or 40 years and make sure that their sentence was appropriately given to them. They would go back and find those dope dealers from, 1992 who got locked up 30 years ago, who got like 8 life sentences with no parole. And they would say, okay, you've done 30 years. You're an old man now. We're going to let you out. That's what they would do. They would go and clean up the mess. They're not doing that. They give you little trinkets, almost like little pieces of bait. Like, okay, let's dangle one police shooting in front of them so they can all get riled up. Ooh, justice for Paquan! Justice for Paquan! Ah, we gotta get. And then they get you all emotionally riled up. Not that Paquan don't deserve justice. I'm not making fun of it, but I laugh because I see the playbook. They're going to the same playbook every time, and then you get all excited about getting justice for Paquan. He gets justice. And then your whole community gets nothing. Right? Nothing else happens after Paquan gets justice. Al Sharpton goes right to the next case. Ben Crump gets his check, and then they just move on and they say, "What are we going to rile black people up with next?" Right? That's what they do. I see Shannon Stewart in here. Shannon Stewart's a good guy. I respect you, man. Thank you for your donation, brother. I appreciate you. All right. Let's see. What about those railroaded with no evidence? Yeah, there's a ton of that. I mean, the Bill Cosby case is kind of the big one, which I told you guys why, even if you think Cosby's guilty, he shouldn't be in jail, right? It doesn't matter what you think. It's what you can prove. It's what the law can prove. They cannot prove that he did it. That's why they cannot get a guilty verdict, because they have no evidence, right? Doesn't matter how many white women cry. Doesn't matter how many people tell a story. Doesn't matter how many people say, well, he did something to me in 1975. That sucks. That really sucks. But, remember, when you come to them and you say, well, look at all the things that happened to me. I got fired from my job because I was black. I had, I could tell them stories. I got proof about my great grandfather getting killed, by a white man back in Alabama, right? You've got all kinds of evidence of things that have happened to your people, and they never provide justice for that. But for some reason with Cosby, it's lynch mob justice. It's been happening for hundreds of years. Lynch mob justice to me is when they have somebody where they say, we think that Negro's guilty, and we don't care what the court said because we're white and we run the courts anyway. So because we think he's guilty, we're going to do this job because we don't think the courts are going to do what we want them to do. That's what it is. It's lynch mob justice. It's been happening for hundreds of years. Would you do an interview on Joe Rogan's podcast? Yeah, I would. Let's see. What are the top 5 jobs you should get into in the next few years? Gosh, I can't think of. I could just say that most of the money is made by people who understand technology. Technology and business mixed together tends to make the most money. Clear your subconscious mind. Absolutely. Emotional intelligence. Yes. I've been married 20 years to the same chick. I'm the coach. Good for you, Ken. My man, you should be. Y'all need to get coaching from Ken, because Ken knows how to keep a relationship. He knows how to keep a woman. Some of these dumb Negroes out here talk the stuff they say about black women. They need to be slapped, little stupid ass little boys. Are you buying Facebook stock? I did buy a little bit, but there are reasons to be concerned about Facebook stock, because Facebook did actually have a slight decline in daily active users. But remember, Facebook's still the big gorilla. They're just not growing as fast. So when they talk about a stock like Facebook, like, oh, Facebook's dying, Facebook's falling off. Facebook ain't falling off. Facebook just ain't big and strong like it was before, but it's still the elephant in the room. That company's still making $100 billion a year. Let's not forget that. Does not teaching critical race theory also include the Holocaust? I don't know what that means, Kevin. I'm sorry. You have to rephrase that question. We do critical race theory every Wednesday night in the Dr. Boyce book club. I believe black people should be teaching ourselves our own history, not your oppressor. You don't need white people to read to you. You can read yourself. And Dr. Claude Anderson, people like that, have written the books. They give you all the critical race theory you need. Every Wednesday night at 8:30, we've been reading Black Labor, White Wealth. If you go to boycewatkins.com, you can find the book club on that page. Sign up. We are on page 197, and we've been reading, and I've done 30 lectures on this book. And every week I will break it down for you. You don't even have to read it yourself. What do you feel about fintech, Donica? I feel like fintech is the future. I think it's worth looking into for sure. NDRE was sticking up for artists more than against Rogan. Interesting. That's a good point. I mean, NDRE is my wife's favorite artist, so I'm not going to sit here and say anything negative about NDRE. I don't totally get it. I think that what's interesting is when they tell you that they feel something, but they can't really prove what they're saying. Like they say, okay, this was misinformation, but they really can't prove that it's misinformation. Like they won't sort of like have their doctors sit down with one of the other doctors and have a debate, right? I think that an open debate would be a good way to resolve it, but they can't have the open debate because they know that these people are not quacks. These people are actually licensed professionals who've been in this game for 30 years. I mean, one of those doctors, the one that graduated from Northwestern with his MD, which most of his critics never couldn't even get into Northwestern, right? Let alone get into medical school. But this man graduated from Northwestern with his MD. I'm sure he'd be happy to debate with them. And also he was doing research on mRNA. I'd like to hear what he has to say, not just what one or two people have to say, especially Fauci, because Fauci messed up the AIDS crisis. If you go research that, you'll see where Fauci really killed a lot of people during the AIDS epidemic. I've heard of various ways to find a mentor. What do you suggest? I suggest going up and finding somebody that you want to work with and offering to help them. Like if you work for free, then they'll, and you do a good job, then a lot of people will mentor you in exchange for you helping them for free. We have your classes. You're the best. Thank you for all that you and Dr. Alicia do. Well, thank you very much, California Dreaming 007. That's a great name, by the way, and I appreciate you very much. And I love you too, sister. Please answer. Why is it so hard to negotiate a salary when you work for a local government, even when you're asking for a salary close to the maximum range of that position? You know what? I'm sure there are books on salary negotiation. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not the best person to answer that because I kind of have been spoiled. I've lived as a free black man for like a while now. And so I'm not really, like I would probably be, the advice I give you would probably get you fired. Like I'm the guy who says, I think you should eventually quit your job and find a better job. Right. But, so I can't really, I wish I could help you with that, but I'm not the guy. You'd probably be better off talking to somebody who's going to talk. I'm like, you know how you have like that, like, you know, ladies, you get advice from your girlfriend who doesn't want a man, you know, like, or, you know, or guys, like, you shouldn't get advice on your marriage from the dude who loves being single. And, you know, because he's going to tell you like, well, you know, I wouldn't put up with that. You need to leave her alone. Get the hell up out that house. Like, I'm that type of guy. So you don't want to get, if you're trying to stay married to the plantation, you don't want advice from a person like me on that sort of thing, because I'm going to kind of ask you, why are you putting up with that in the first place? Right. And not that I'm right. I'm not always right. I mean, I'm just saying my advice is probably not the best advice for you. So I wish you the best with that. But I would suggest maybe reading a book on negotiation. There are tactics. I remember listening to an audio book on negotiation. There are a lot of little tactics and tools you can use that can help you negotiate better. So I would actually take the time to study that. All right. So let's see. The current DA of LA County is the old San Francisco DA. Oh, really? Yeah, yuck. Uncle Boyce trying to keep us blind, man. They trying to keep us blind. I agree. The mayor of San Francisco is a puppet, is she? I don't know much about her. If those black cops don't get it's not about them. They're not that smart. Yeah, I think that what it is, you know, I'm biased, admittedly. My father was a police officer, and you know, and I know the concern of your father leaving for work every day and not knowing if he was going to come home safely, you know, where he's going to every bad neighborhood in the city. Imagine every day your father has to go to the absolute worst neighborhood in the city and deal with the absolute worst people, literally look for them and find them. And they all want to kill him and kill his family and shit like that. Like, that's what we grew up with. So, you know, most people don't understand that. They just think, I guess they think every cop is a cowboy that wants to kill people every day. And I just don't believe that. You know, I just think it requires more intelligence and nuance than that. So I'm not getting on that whole, like, every police officer is terrible bandwagon, but I do think the system's corrupt. And I think the system needs to be fixed. I definitely won't disagree with you on that. But then again, y'all know some people who would do bad things to you if they had the chance. And I appreciate the police who protect us from that. Right. That's just my perspective on it. Why y'all talk about the rappers is my question. They're just kids out off the streets. Yeah, I agree. But they're puppets. They're very powerful puppets. What do you think about, let's see, Kenneth, what do you think about the religion that was forced upon us during slavery? Yeah, I mean, you said enough. You said it all. There's nothing else to say. I mean, that right there, I think, should be enough to make you question what you've been taught. So make sure you're internalizing ideas that are beneficial to you and your liberation, whatever that means for you. Let's see. What are your thoughts on renting versus buying homes for millennials? I think you can rent. It's okay. I think renting is versus buying. I mean, I'm a believer in buying if you can, because then you can build equity by just having a place to live. A lot of wealth in America is home equity, but I totally get it if you don't want to buy. But you got to make sure you get a tax write-off, because rich people and business owners don't really pay taxes. The taxes are paid by the people who go to work every day. So, like, if you have a business, if you have a good wife or good husband and don't do business together, you can damn near write off every trip you take, everything you do, because you're always doing business constantly. You're talking about the business. So you can write off a bunch of shit to the point where your accountant, you know, can pretty much say, well, how much do you want to pay in taxes this year? Now, it doesn't mean you're doing anything illegal, though. Like, they just rig the system in favor of people who own businesses. So that's why every family should have an LLC. Every family should have a family business, in my view. Hey, Dr. B, have you seen Gary Chambers running for office in Louisiana? No, Nathan, I haven't seen that. I'll look him up, though. Let's see here. What do you think about investing in EVs? I think it's a good idea, industry-wise. Individual stocks, I don't know about those. I can look those up if you put that question in for class next Tuesday. My stock market class is available. You can go to boycewatkins.com for until midnight tonight. So that's a couple more hours. You can actually get 48% off now and forever. So feel free to go take a look at that. Let's see. I can personally attest you still like bros married to a white woman. I can attest you still like bros married to a white woman. You care about the person. I can personally attest you still like bros married. Oh yeah, I agree. I don't really care who you date and who you marry and all that. I'm not into that. I don't think every black person's good or every white person's always bad. But I do believe in the general. I believe that my general goal is to be as much of an asset to the black people I care about as I can be, and to the community. And so for me personally, that meant when I got married, I didn't open myself to be married to anyone other than a black woman. That was my personal form of expression. But I know plenty of interracial couples. I have people in my family that married interracially. I don't judge that at all. And I don't have an issue with white people. I just don't want to work for them. Let's see here. Prayers up for your daughter. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Takupapa. Church on the Move. What's the top 5 jobs you should enter into in the next 10 years? I think we already talked about that. Let's see. Are there economic opportunities in the Austin area? Yes, there are. Sounds like a gangster threat, man. Black Twitter will find him. Yes, they need to. His name is Brandon Becerra, the guy that hit my daughter. Brandon, Becerra. Becerra. Somebody type that in, and feel free to share it if you want to Google him. Brandon Becerra, that is his name. If you support Joe Rogan, do you also support Dr. Jordan Peterson? I don't know who he was. He was on Value Entertainment podcast with Patrick Bet-David 2 days ago, saying he's considering running for Prime Minister of Canada. I don't know who Dr. Jordan Peterson is, so I'm sorry. I don't really get into the politics of Canada that much. You done turned gangster, man. I've always been gangster. How do you think I got in this chair? God damn it. I'm just a different kind of gangster. My daddy was the gangster that killed people. I'm the gangster that kills all of my obstacles. So there you go. You ain't got to pull out a gun to be a gangster. Like I ain't never been a punk ever. And even when I was 3, my daddy said that he said, you were never scared of nothing. I said, that's because I know fear is not beneficial. It's not a beneficial emotion. And if you feel it, you don't let fear stop you. Never live in a house of fear. It is like being in prison. If you have a fear, you must overcome it so you can get to the things you want. Fear will block you every damn time. And most of it is a figment of your imagination. It doesn't mean you can't feel it. It's very natural. But no, I'm not scared of shit. You think I'm scared? I'm definitely not scared of idiots on the internet. Anyway, the USFL is coming back this spring. I think that's awesome. Too much celebrating going on, all due respect. Yes, I agree. What are your top 5 altcoins? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot. It's another one. Those are the 4 that come to mind. There was another one that came to mind. I can't remember what it was, though. Why am I losing it in my brain? Those would be my top 4. So that's the most I can do tonight. So sorry. Are you with the Nation of Islam? I see you have Farrakhan in your profile. I'm not in the nation, but I love Farrakhan. I will defend him to the day I die. Rogan is 10 times bigger than Tucker Carlson on Fox. Yeah, he is. What did Whoopi say wrong? Asked the Real Mac Life. She offended the Jewish community, and the Jewish community is very strategic about ownership of banks, media, and damn near everything. Black people love getting jobs. Jewish people love to own companies. Right? Doesn't mean all of them own stuff. There's plenty of Jewish people who are struggling. But as a general culture, they're thinking like a lot of us are playing checkers. We're thinking about that next move. They're playing chess. They want to control the board. Like, for example, right now there's the whole battle over getting one Black woman on the Supreme Court. And you need a white man to do it for you, Joe Biden. Well, let's keep it clear. Remember, Obama he promised Dorothy Height before she died that he would put a Black woman on the Supreme Court, and he just reneged on the promise. Well, who did he put on the court? A lady named Elena Kagan. I remember that name very well because the White House called me to get me to talk to you guys and to support Elena Kagan. And I told them to fuck off. I said, I'm not supporting this lady because there's nothing, you're supposed to put a Black woman on the court. We had this conversation 10 years ago. And so the interesting thing was they said, well, she said something like, I think they said something like, well, she had the Thurgood Marshall chair at Harvard. And I said, you must think I'm stupid. I don't give a shit about that. All I know is that when, number one, she's not Black. Number two, and you should have had a Black woman on there a long time ago. I said, number two, she has hired 32 people. And actually, Roland Martin pointed this out. I got to give him credit for that. You know, Roland gets on my nerves sometimes, but I got to give credit where it's due. She hired 32 people, and 30 of them were white males. So what in the hell? I said, the Klan couldn't have a worse track record than that. She didn't hire one single Black person when she was the dean of Harvard Law School. And you're trying to convince me that she's an ally to Black people? If you got friends like that, then who needs enemies? Like, seriously, are these really your friends? Seriously, I need y'all to really process this for a minute. These are the people they're telling you are your allies. This lady hired 32 people. Listen, are you hearing me? Am I going to go crazy? She hired 32. I'm having a meltdown right now. Please forgive me. She hired 32 people. and not one single person was black. And this is your ally. No wonder you're at the bottom of the pile. If you are stupid enough to think that these people are your allies, then God bless you, because you obviously don't have a brain cell in your head. You're clearly smoking the entire crack pipe right now. I don't know what to do with that. I'm like, how low does your self-esteem have to get? Does it have to go beneath the floor? Like, because it's already on the floor. You're at zero. Like zero. Think about this. The KKK could not have a worse hiring record than she did. And this was the lady that the Obama administration was trying to tell me I should support. They're like, go tell black people that they should support this lady. I said, fuck you. What the hell's wrong with you people? Get Barack on the phone. Where's he at? This is crazy. So let me tell you why they picked Elena Kagan. This goes back to the Whoopi Goldberg thing and Jewish power and respect. I'm not even mad at them for this. This is not anti-Semitic. I totally need y'all to peep game and understand what power looks like, so y'all can learn how to go get some. Okay, so this ain't anti-nobody. I'm not even mad at them. If I was in their shoes, I'd do the same damn thing. Elena Kagan. The reason that Obama picked Elena Kagan and did not pick any of the thousands and thousands and thousands of qualified black women across the country. Y'all know black women are the most educated group of people in America. They're the most educated and the most religious, and maybe even the most unmarried. It kind of sucks, but that's kind of where our community has gone, right? So you can't tell me that there aren't thousands of qualified black attorneys out there, thousands of qualified black female judges, black women on the faculty at major universities who've been, endowed chairs for 20 years. Like they could have been on the Supreme Court. So the reason Elena Kagan was selected is because Elena was, she was from Harvard. There's always a backdoor play. I remember getting a call from the guy, a black law professor at Harvard. I can't remember his name. He's a nice guy. I forgot his name though, but he knows the Obamas and he knows me. I just can't remember his name right now because I haven't talked to him for years. So Harvard was making backdoor moves to preserve their power. If you pay attention, I need you to go look at how many Supreme Court justices came from Harvard and Yale. There was a point not too long ago where every single Supreme Court justice went to Harvard or Yale. The only exception at that time, I want to say about a decade ago, the only exception was Ginsburg, who did go to Harvard. She transferred from Harvard to Columbia because her husband took a job on the faculty there. So there's an aristocracy thing going on, right? So first off, Ogletree. Thank you. It was Ogletree. Great guy, nice guy. I don't know him that well, but he was nice when we talked. So I'm nothing negative to say about Ogletree. Charles Ogletree. That's a great lawyer. Number two, Elena Kagan was what else? Let's see. There was Harvard. She was a woman, right? White women. That's a big deal. She checked other boxes. She was I think she was LGBT. I believe that. I believe she's LGBT. Again, long history, no marriage, no boyfriends, no nothing. And the only time in her career where she took a controversial position was when she was at Harvard, and the military was trying to recruit on the Harvard campus, and she told them that they couldn't recruit on the campus because of their don't ask, don't tell policy. So the only time she put it on the line, the only time she was ready to put her dukes up and fight, because remember, people know for years that they might be considered for the Supreme Court, so they try to avoid doing anything controversial. The only time she was willing to put it on the line and be controversial was when it came to an LGBT issue. That tells me, honestly, I believe that that's because it was personal. Last point about Kagan, last box she checked, is she was Jewish. She was Jewish, right? So that power play that they make is something you should pay attention to. You should learn from that, right? That's why you've had many, many members of the Supreme Court who were Jewish, none who were black. Oh, well, yeah, Clarence Thomas and Thurgood Marshall, right? It's the men, but no black women, right? So black people have to learn how to make the power plays. You got to learn how to play the chess. Stop playing the checkers. Stop looking to move around and navigate on the lower rung of the building. Learn how to live in the penthouse. That means you got to own those businesses. You got to go start those sports leagues. You got to go and own those institutions. You got to own. And in fact, you should judge if somebody's talking about how well they're doing economically. They should be able to talk about all the things that they own, property, businesses, whatever it is, right? Even stock, even owning stock. it does something. There's a mindset of the people that want to be in control. So you got to own things, right? And that's what they do in their community, and that's what we need to do in ours. So anyway, was Lawrence Thomas from Syracuse an ally or an op? You know what, Lawrence Thomas, I never had an issue with him. I do remember him at Syracuse. I don't remember us being like in complete alignment with everything, but he was very nice to me. So I have nothing to say about him. What's your view on Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed? Tariq and I are friends. Umar and I are not. Condoleezza Rice is a huge sports fan. Yes, she is. We need to have a conference on Jewish-Black relationships. Well, when you host that conference, you let me know. Let's see here. Tell me the truth, more respect. Absolutely, I agree. Let's see. One day says, I can't afford a lawyer to fight the city of San Francisco that took me off my job because I have a sincere religious belief. I got notes from my coworkers and all, but they still denied me. Yeah, man. Can you move out of San Francisco? I encourage everybody that lives in California or New York, look down south. There's a lot of real low-cost real estate. You go to Atlanta, a lot of Black people moving to Atlanta. Atlanta's great, man. Me and my wife got a house down there, and I just love Atlanta. I'm going down there a little later in a few weeks again, and there's just so many good things happening in Atlanta, and I just really think it might be an upgrade for you. So I'm a big believer in moving down south, Atlanta, Charlotte, stuff like that. What's your favorite stock to buy now? I bought shares of a company called Riot Blockchain. Also, if you're in the class, again, until midnight, you can get a 48% discount on my stock market investing class, 48% off now and forever. As long as you're a member, you pay 48% less than the regular price. So if you're interested, we meet for class every Tuesday. You can get started right now. There's literally so much material that you'll never run out of stuff to read, stuff to watch, stuff to learn from, all that stuff. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com and take advantage of the offer. It expires actually in about 45 minutes. So if you're interested, if you're on Instagram, you can click the link in the bio. So it's right there. Let's see here. Next question. Ken says, watch Gunsmoke. They call each other all the names. We call each other as well as others. Yeah, names. I don't think names should bother. Names don't really bother me that much. I kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't. It just never really was a big deal to me, to be honest with you. I'd rather have the wealth. You can call me whatever name you want, as long as you're not gonna call me broke or weak. Like I'm not gonna be broke, I'm not gonna be weak. If I'm the strongest in the room, then you got to know that the winner is always going to have somebody call him a name. You can either be a hater or be hated, right? So I personally believe when you start winning, people will hate you. They're going to call you names. They're going to try to distract you, and you have to learn how to ignore that. Let's see here. Mike J, what college would you recommend for online accounting? Oh, gosh, I don't know. I think it depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, I went to the University of Kentucky. It's not like I can't say. I mean, Rochester. I went to the University of Rochester for the first year of my doctorate, and they were good at accounting, but I don't know if I'd want to go to that school. It was kind of terrible, kind of a boring place to go to school. Christina, I joined the stock market class today. Good, Christina. I hope that you love it. I know you're going to love it, and I look forward to seeing you in class. We meet every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. You'll get an email from me tomorrow. Have you watched Gangsters of Harlem on Hulu? No, I have not. That sounds interesting. I'm going to check that out. Let's see here. Brees says, Batiste says, the fact that the government and companies paid for rap videos and about the jab was definitely how I knew it was full of shit. Yeah, the propaganda is crazy. Like they really, I think what they do is when they're talking to Black people, they kind of know there's at least two classes of Black people. There are free thinkers, and then there are people who are not free thinkers. That's it. Black people you can control, Black people you can't. So those of us who can't be controlled get offended because they're kind of talking below us, right? They're talking in a way where it's like you're sitting there, you're thinking, what idiot is going to fall for this nonsense? And that, unfortunately, is the case. I mean, a lot of people just believe that stuff, and I don't know what to say about it. I mean, that's just what it is. How long have you been gaming? Vincent asked. I've been playing Call of Duty for like a year now. I started playing because I wanted to do something different instead of working all the time, and I wanted to connect with my son. You guys know I'm a bonus dad to my kids, and I wanted to connect with him. He sat in his room. I noticed he played a lot of video games. That's a good way to connect with your kids, is find out what they like and see if you can get into what they like. So with my daughter, I read up on her favorite anime character. I read up on Wikipedia, so I was able to talk to her about the anime show that she watches. It was boring as shit. I honestly didn't like it much, but the fact that I could talk to her about it made her like pay attention, like, oh yeah, da, da, da. With my youngest, it was like the Disney movies. Like she knows all the songs from that new Disney movie Encanto. So I would sit there and watch it with her, and I would look up stuff and whatever, right? And so with him, it was video games, and it worked. It worked. We really got closer. He built me this really great gaming system. He taught me how to play, and now I love it. It's so much fun. And so now what we do is on my YouTube channel, every now and then I'll just start playing Call of Duty, and we'll be talking about stocks or whatever you guys want to talk about. That's a good time to ask me questions. Like if I'm live playing the video game, you can put your question in the chat, and I'll answer your questions. So feel free to join us. Let's see here. Lloyd Mitchell. I have a love for tech and finance. What type of business should I start? I would start off by maybe joining a club or taking a class on just how to do that, how to start the business, and then look around and see what businesses are around you. And then when you learn the anatomy of how business works, you can then see other people's business models, and you can sort of poke out like, okay, this is how they make their money. This is what they do on their landing page. This is how they sell me the product. This is what they send me in the email. So you can then figure out and see, you can get ideas and inspiration for kind of watching what other people do. Let's see here. We will Uno reverse reparations. Okay. Let's see. One day says, now I'm doing DoorDash, making $37 an hour. Good for you, brother. Go get that money, man. Congratulations, brother. Let's see here. Watch Guns. Okay, let me see here. One lawyer tried to overcharge me. Now I'm fighting with him to get my retainer back. Oh God, sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. Let's see. Mistaken says, what advice do you have for young brothers majoring in finance in college? Work very hard, study, take in information, learn from everybody you can. Don't be average, like really work on your mental health, like get tools to keep yourself motivated every day so that you can just really go hard every day, no matter what. The key idea to success, one of the things I really believe in, is that you have to find a way to operate at the same frequency, no matter what's going on around you. Don't allow, what people think or try to get to the point where what people think or how, whether things are going bad or good, try to get to the point where that doesn't throw you off. Like the number one thing that worked for me really well was just learning how to get a really consistent work ethic, and I had that, when I was 19, 20 years old, and I started managing my time in extreme detail. Like I would just pay attention. I budgeted my time like money. And none of my friends were doing this. So maybe I was just smarter than a lot of my friends. I don't know, man. I'll accept some of that. But I don't believe that this isn't something that other people can't understand and learn from, right? So I would manage and budget my time. Like I had 168 hours in a week. And I would say, okay, I'm going to spend 56 hours sleeping because I want to get a full night of sleep. I'm going to spend this much time in class. And then I realized, wait a minute, I got 60 hours left where I can still work a full-time job, go to all the parties and hang out with my girlfriend and do everything I want. I just have to manage my time. So that time management was part of the awareness process that I developed that allowed me to kind of just understand like sort of where I was trying to go. I always had a plan. I would get up and work every day. I would get away. I would isolate a lot. I think isolation is beneficial if you can, if you're okay with that kind of thing. Isolation is good because you won't get caught up in the mediocrity, the culture of mediocrity. If you're around too many people, especially people that aren't really trying to do anything, that's going to affect you. That's going to infect you. It's going to infect your energy level and your spirit. So I would encourage you, like, if you, maybe have your goals written down, keep your mental health strong, love yourself, forgive yourself when you make mistakes, and never, ever, ever, if you really want to know the secret to like being great or successful in anything, if you just learn how to never really give up, then you're gonna eventually win, because all your obstacles will wear down eventually, but you can't wear down, So that's hopefully that's helpful. Also, actually, with the book club that we do on Wednesdays, this is all free. You can actually also have access to my life class. My life class, there used to be a price attached to it. I took the price away. It's totally free to the community. And what I did was I put a whole bunch of stuff where I said, what are all the little things that I wish somebody had told me when I was younger about how to be successful? And I literally documented all that in a series of about 100 videos that you can watch. And again, if you go to boycewatkins.com, it's all right there. Just look for the book club. So you'll get access. You'll get invited to the book club on Wednesday. And also you have access to the live class, and that's yours. It's lifetime access. So feel free to go take a look at that. Okay, guys. So I'm going to go. I got to get out of here. I've been talking for 53 minutes and 47 seconds. So I hope that this conversation was good for you. And I love you and I appreciate you all very, very much. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. And if I said something that offended you, just know, number one, I apologize for that. But then number two, I probably really honestly, I don't give a fuck, because I think we should have freedom of speech. And I think we should all be allowed to say what we want to say and still love each other. If we agree, give me a yes in the chat to let me know we're on the same page today. Give me a yes if you agree that we ain't got to have the same damn opinion to still be family. And if we could agree on that, then then we can head on out of here with a smile on our face. All right, guys, love you. God bless you. Have a good night. And also, if you want to join the stock market class for 48% off now and forever, go to boycewatkins.com or Instagram. Click the link in the bio. You have until midnight, another 45 minutes. So feel free to join. There's a 100% money back guarantee if you're not happy for any reason, but I know you're going to be happy. We meet for class on Tuesday, and I just picked some stocks that I like for this week, so they're already in there if you want to log in now. So have a good night, everybody. I'll see you soon. Take care. God bless you.